Trump doesn't poll so well. Surprise, surprise, right? Earth-shattering news. He doesn't poll that well because, well, it's Trump. And people are actually afraid to admit they're voting for Trump. It's this touchy thing. I mean, when Biden tells you he's so evil and everybody on Morning Joe and CNN, I can't believe he's doing this debate on CNN. We're going to talk about that too. Everyone out there is, oh, it's evil. MAGA is bad. They're writing off half the country. So if you admit that, oh, maybe you are actually somebody who voted for Trump in the past or are going to vote for him now, then you're part of the problem, right? You're the bad individual. You are the evil person that is supporting MAGA. And so you're naturally afraid to say it. I mean, I see it over and over and over again. People are afraid to admit, I'm going to vote for Trump. I get it all the time. People come up to me and it's like, they tell me, oh, Trish, I love your show. I listen to your show every day. I watch your show every day. I love it. And they're always like, and I'm voting for Trump. But they're afraid to say it. Granted, I live in the Northeast and, you know, it is what it is here. I know Drew has a different experience living in Florida where you can get away with a little bit more. But I'm telling you, the fact that people feel ashamed, that in and of itself is kind of a problem, right? But to the benefit of Trump, it shows that these polls are probably not fully accurate. So going back to them, Drew, if we can look at Emerson College again, I mean, if you look at him up so significantly in so many of these states, Arizona up 4, Georgia up 4, Nevada up 3, Wisconsin up 3. I mean, think about that. So if it is not totally correct, and guess what? He could be even higher in Pennsylvania. He could be even higher in Michigan. He could be higher in Minnesota. Really and truly, guys, because nobody's willing to say what they really think. Meanwhile, you don't have a ton of enthusiasm, right? There's not a lot of enthusiasm for the guy who has driven up prices to levels that we haven't really ever seen. I mean, you've got inflation skyrocketing. To get any kind of similar growth in inflation, you're going to go all the way back to the Jimmy Carter years. So we got problems, right? When it comes to inflation, it's out of control. And so you don't have a lot of enthusiasm for the candidate, for the Democrat candidate, because people naturally blame him. They blame, as they should, Joe Biden. I mean, I'd say that some blame could go around. Jerome Powell, I'm looking at you. But as a result of this, his base is not coming out for him, whether it be blacks or whether it be women. The New York Times had a big article on this about how women are just not coming out as anticipated. Here's the headline: Biden's lead with women is smaller than Trump's with men. A warning for Democrats. His current standing among women is the weakest lead a Democrat has had since 2004. A key factor in how tight this race is. You know why? Because women are not stupid. Women are the ones that are effectively the CFOs of their family. They're the ones at the grocery counter having to pay for a 30% increase in grocery costs. They know what it takes to run a household. They know when you got to buy new sneakers every few months for the kids, and they know how much more everything costs, and they know that they don't have as much money coming in because jobs are not correspondingly increasing wages enough to keep up with all this inflation. It's a huge problem. I mean, it's actually one of the reasons why, quick shout out for one of our wonderful sponsors here on the program, American Heart for Gold, why I say, you know what, you got to diversify your portfolio. You got to think about what actually is going to help you preserve the value of your dollars in the future. One way to help preserve that is diversifying into gold. I like gold a lot. And by the way, I've been completely right on this. I'm not, I'm not going to sit here and say like, I'm 1,000% right all the time, although I usually am. Anyway, just saying, I usually am. Anyway, one of the things that I have been very right about is gold. And look, I think it's fairly priced right now, but I think that basically what you're looking at is concern for the future, because none of this spending is going to change overnight. I mean, 34 trillion and counting. And you're going to find that just paying off the interest on the debt is going to eat up a bigger and bigger chunk. So this is not a good scenario for the US, and it's just the reality of where we are. On top of that, you have countries all around the world saying, well, look what the US did to Russia. I don't really like that. I mean, they're not even technically at war with Russia, and yet they just basically wiped out Russia, any kind of debt that they held got wiped out. They're not using rubles anymore. And so people are like, hey, okay. So all around the world, you have countries increasingly looking to diversify their own holdings into gold. Central banks are buying gold. So all of this is contributing to the increase in gold prices. I would say take a look at this. Silver is actually on the upswing as well. And if you text my name, Trish, Trish, to 65532, again, text Trish to 65532, you can get up to $15,000 in free silver. This is a special offer for viewers of the Trish Regan Show only. Call 1-844-495-1115. Again, up to $15,000 in free silver. And guess what else? You can also go to Trish Loves Gold. You can't forget that. TrishLovesGold.com. I'm going to put the URL as well in the show notes for you. So TrishLovesGold.com or text Trish to 65532. But it's quite obvious, what this inflation is here, and it's not going away.